All right, Chapter 5, Lesson 7, Subtracting Linear Equations. We're getting close to being done with the chapter, okay, but we won't take a test before semester tests. Semester tests are next week already, okay? So we're going to spend all week next week for studying for that. So I want to make sure you have that down. Yep. It doesn't take up any percent of your grade. It does in high school. In junior high, it does not. It just goes on your quarter 2 grade, okay? It's basically just like a regular test on quarter 2, if that makes sense, okay? In high school, it counts for 10% of your grade. In junior high, it does not. Just because we want you to get in the swing of knowing how to take them before we make it really, really count. All right, so we kind of talked about this already, remembering how to simplify. We kind of talked about this a little bit, remembering how to add, okay? But we're going to skip that, and we're going to go right into subtraction, okay? So subtraction is a lot like addition. And remember how I said it's easier to put them on top of each other? It really is easier to put them on top of each other for something like this. So here's my problem. 6x plus 3 minus 2x plus 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write them on top and make sure you have some good examples in your notebook. This is an easy example right away. It's going to get a little harder because guess what? When you subtract and have a negative, what happens? Keep, change, so we have to keep that in mind too. And this one we don't have to. Then, if you remember, I take and I put a line in between these two things because then I treat it like two different problems. It's like 3 minus 2 would be plus 1, 6 minus 2x would be 4x, then this would be my answer. Okay? Do you remember how we find this sign again? How do we find this sign again? That plus sign. How do I know what sign that is? Do you guys remember? What do you think, Henry? Yeah, so like if it's 6 minus 2 and that gives me 1, it's a positive 1. That's the plus 1. That's what that means. Okay? Questions so far? It's a lot like addition. So let's talk about this one now. Now it's going to get a little more tricky. Okay, because what do you see in there? I see some subtraction signs. So 2x minus 3 minus, I always put my minus really big on the outside so I remember it's there. Alright, so before you do anything, just get it written down. Before you do anything, let me kind of talk about this a little bit. Okay, so after you get it written down, you probably want to put your line in between again. Now, sometimes the easiest thing is to rewrite what you're seeing. So what does this say? What does that say? Negative 3 minus a negative 2. Negative 3 minus a negative 2. What does that look like? Keep, change, right? So what's this answer going to be down here? Negative 1. Now this 2x minus 1x would be just 1x. Sometimes it's going to be tricky because you have that negative in there, but you can do some keep changing and changing in your problem too, but you know what? That can get kind of confusing. I'm just going to tell you. You can do it this way. You want me to show you another way? Okay, so I'm going to keep this one. This is like my keep part, because that's like my first two numbers in my problem. Keep, I'm going to change this one. But if I change this, I got to change this one, and I got to change this one. Because when I do that, it's like my next two numbers in my problems. So now it looks like an addition problem. Okay? So it's up to you how you would rather do it. If you'd rather write it out, or if you'd rather change this sign, and this next sign. If you change this sign, you have to change the next two. Okay? So it's up to you what you want to do. But I'm going to assume that you're going to pick the one that's easiest for you. If it's to rewrite them, rewrite them. Do not get confused, because you know how to do all this stuff. So it'll disappoint me if you just try to do it yourself and don't even think about it. All right, let's try this one. So this is 5x minus 9 minus 2x minus 7. Okay, so first write it out, put your line. Then it's up to you if you'd rather rewrite the individual problems on the side, or if you want to change the sign in the problem and then change every other sign. I'll do it both ways so you can see both ways again. Okay, so I like to write them out so I can see them, because sometimes that sign stuff screws me up, because if I forget to change one, then my answer's wrong. So my first one would have been negative 9 minus a negative 7. And my second one would have been 5x minus 2x. This one would have been negative 2. And this would have been 3x. Okay? If you changed your signs inside, it would look like this. Plus, minus, plus. You come up with this. What is easiest for you? What would you guys rather do? I mean, the second one, off to the side, okay? What do you guys like? What do you like, Zane? The sign thing? In the last one? Okay, if you do the last one, remember you have to change both signs. That's why I put the subtraction sign way out here, because if I change this one, then I may have to make sure I change that one too. So don't forget your subtraction sign. I have a lot of students when we do this that they don't put any sign there, and they don't remember what they're doing. Okay, so make sure you put your sign there, and then do whatever method you want to do. All right, try this one yourself. Do your own method, try it yourself. All right, so Jacob, what'd you do? What was your method today? So you did keep, you changed this one, you changed this one, and you changed this one, correct? Okay. And let's see, you should have gotten negative 2 and then 4x minus 2. Did anybody write it on the side? Cadence? You guys got the same thing? All right, nice work. Pick what you like the best. Pick what you like the best. Ooh, this is a tricky one. Let's do this one. Negative 2x minus 4 minus 2x plus 0. So this time there's a negative sign with that first one. But remember, you keep it. There's a lot of 4's in this answer. Is that right? Is there a lot of 4's in this answer? Okay, so a lot of you probably did this. And this was a negative. And this turns into a subtraction sign. So let's see. Negative 4. 4x, negative 4x, something like this. If you're doing it the second way, where you're changing the signs, will you please in your notebook write yourself a note so when you come back to this, you can understand what you did. Say something about changed subtraction sign and every other sign in the second expression. Because when you look at this later on, I want to make sure you understand what you did if you're changing the signs. Because a lot of you might go back to your notes and say, I don't get what I did here. So I want to make sure you get yourself a note written in there for yourself to make sure you're understanding. If you're doing it off to the side, that's fine. You can see what you probably can interpret your own stuff in. But if you aren't, if you're changing signs, I want you to make sure you at least get a note in there to yourself when you look back at this and say, oh yeah, that's what I did. Do you guys have questions for me? Do you understand how this is working this morning? Okay. I have a whole bunch more, I guess. Oh, can we do two more? This one in my story problem? Is that alright? Okay. 3x minus 2 minus 5x minus 4. 3x minus 2 minus 5x minus 4. Did you change this sign? Then you have to change this sign. Yep. Did you change this sign then? You didn't change the sign either, did you? See what I mean? You have to change this one, and this one. Okay? How you doing? Good. Oh, so you wrote that one out to the side. Sometimes it's easier to do that. That might be easier for you, so do what you're going to get the answer right with. Anybody want to give an answer? Anybody want to take a guess? Cadence? Plus 2. Nice job. Negative 2x plus 2. Yep. Way to go. All right, one more. Let's talk about a story problem today. Okay. So it says the expression 6m plus 3 represents how many apples were sold. The expression 5m minus 2 represents how many oranges were sold. How many more apples were sold than oranges? So obviously I'm going to have to do what? Add, subtract, multiply, or divide. Subtract, right? Yep, so look for those keywords. How many more is keyword, sum is a keyword, difference is a keyword. So you're going to take 6m plus 3 minus 5m minus 2. If you need to write them out, please write them out. Please write them out if you need to. Don't take the shortcut. Cadence, you better put that away. So if you wrote it out, it should look like this. 3 minus negative 2. 3 minus negative 2. So that I keep change. So then this one should be 5 plus 5. And this should be 1m. 1m plus 5. If you need to go back and make sure you get them written out, please do that. Because I know somebody's going to change one sign and not change anything else. So they'll change two signs and forget the last one or something. So please, please, please write it out if you need to. Do you guys have any questions for me? Anybody? Want to try some of the homework? Want to try it? Should we look at it at least? Let's look at it. Let's look at it. Page 407.